President-elect Joe Biden's pick for Treasury Secretary, Janet Yellen, will tell lawmakers that the government must act big with its next COVID relief bill. Yellen's going to be testifying at a confirmation hearing today. Steve Leisman joins us right now with more on that front. I think all of the bills have been pretty big to this point, and that's the question, is how much more will they be able to get Congress to agree to?
Yeah, Becky, here we go. The politics and economics of the federal debt come to the fore today with Treasury Secretary nominee Janet Yellen sitting for her confirmation hearing before the Senate Finance Committee. She's been there before. The former Fed chair will nod to the country's debt burden, but argue in support of President-elect Joe Biden's $1.9 trillion spending plan to fight the pandemic and get the economy going. A copy of her testimony obtained by CNBC says, quote, "Without further action, we risk a longer, more painful recession now and long-term scarring of the economy later." She goes on to say, "In the long run, I believe the benefits will far outweigh the costs." The economics underlying Yellen's argument is that with interest rates so low, the spending can be offset as long as growth or GDP is higher than the interest rate paid by the government. The federal deficit as a percent of GDP increasing even before the pandemic. It's now projected to be nearly 16% in 2020, but improve slowly over the next several years. The Biden spending plan not included in these estimates. We'll get updated estimates when the CBO figures the spending. Politically, the trend is that the party out of power tends to gain a sudden concern over the deficit, and some Republicans have already made the turn, some Democrats as well. Financially, yields have risen a bit since it became clear Democrats would take over the Senate, but remain deeply negative on an inflation-adjusted basis. The dollar, it's weakened since the election, but gained a bit since the Georgia runoff. Stocks, generally higher overall. The risks are that some limit is reached where rates rise and make the debt harder to finance. But the Fed's buying $80 billion a month of treasuries. There's no clear signal that financial markets feel the U.S. has reached that limit. And we'll be listening today to see if Congress shares that confidence. And Becky, if you think about it, a person making $100,000 a year with their income growing 3, 4, 5% a year can borrow $100,000 for a house and pay 1%. Now, I don't know what the limit is of the debt, but the idea that it's 100%, well, people are borrowing that amount all the time for their own personal finances.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.